says there's nothing pulling up on live.
All right, so.
This is hole 2 at Fletcher.
Why can't I minimize this?
Okay, it's showing that we're live now.
Is it? What does it look like? Oh, we are live. Well, in that case, do we have any sound? Check 1, 2.
Yeah.
We do got sound. What does it sound like? Check 1, 2, 3. Check 1, 2. Oh, nice. So we really have no way of knowing that we're live.
I mean, once you hit the live button, that's it.
Yeah. But we can't see nothing here because I killed that other.
Yeah, it definitely sounds a lot better with getting closer to that mic.
Yeah, because I got to turn up my audio too. Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. Mic check 1, 2. I always count, see how the delay is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Did you end it?
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 15, 16 seconds usually. So I'm a little too loud there because I'm pegging out here.
I thought you said you ended it.
No, I'm testing.
I just asked you if you ended it. You said yes.
Ended what? The string?
Yes.
No.
Because now you're on here freaking counting.
I'm trying to
Can you
think.
still hear me okay there, or do I need to grab that mic?
You need to grab the mic. Check 1, 2. You've lost your mind.
All right. This thing looks weird.
Yeah. Heiser Nation is live in the house.
Yes, we're going through some rough motions, but we're getting there.
Yeah, we just moved studios, setting up for the podcast of disc golf in the house. We have finally be talking disc golfing. We'll be talking the different courses in the tri-state Chattanooga area. Played Fletcher here. Well, you played Fletcher.
Yeah.
Here, what, last week? Fletcher Park?
2 weeks, yeah.
About 2 weeks ago. You got any tournaments coming up?
No, I don't have any coming up right now. It's getting a little too cold for myself.
Now-
Maybe some glow throwing though. Might be in the future.
Glow throwing is interesting. Those that haven't tried glow throws, that's probably one of the coolest things is being able to play at night. Some things you do, some things you need in order to glow throw will be, let's go ahead and talk to those that don't know what we're talking about. There is one of them. That is the Hex. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
That is the Hex. Now, if we had the black light, we could actually set it up where they could see it glowing in the dark. But you activate these lights with black light, or you activate these discs with the black light, get them to glow and reflect, and then you can actually throw them at the course. Now, the problem is you can't see nothing at night.
Yeah.
So the baskets have to have some kind of light illuminating the baskets. It makes it a little bit easier. It gives you a target to aim at. And then you can throw it and go on from there. And it's actually makes things different because you can't see the obstacles. You can't see the branches.
Yeah.
You can't see the tree branches, the leaves. You can't see hazards. You can't see a lot of stuff. All you can see is the basket. So you try to aim at it, which makes it different. But it is interesting. And then so Fletcher does a night tournament and glow throws. I believe. And then, of course, our closest course to us is Black Branch. And, well, Jack Maddox, Black Branch, and Camp Jordan are all within 5 minutes, I guess, of our radius. So we deal a lot with Battlefield Outdoors. I actually sponsor you.
Yeah.
You are registered with the PDGA. You know what your number is right off?
280-990.
See, you can look him up. 280-990.
Yep, got my first tournament win last month.
Yep. So your first tournament win in the amateur, right?
Yeah, MA4.
Yeah. So how do you move up from there? Like, how do you go from amateur to pro?
Well, it takes a fairly long process. Just keep playing in, sanctioned tournaments and trying to get better and always play. And the more tournaments you get in and the better you play, kind of what your rating is for that certain round, it'll keep going up. And then as you play better and get better, your play rating will get better. And as you do that, if you start at an MA4 like I did, eventually you'll get to a certain point in your player rating that you can't play in MA4 and you have to keep going up to MA3 and MA2, MA1, and eventually get up to MPO.
And now MPO stands for what?
I have no idea.
You're supposed to know these things.
I don't know.
Part of the podcast is knowing the answers, right? But we do have some interesting things we're going to be doing on the podcast. We got several guys that are going to join us. We're actually a group of disc golfers. Now, what's interesting about this is back in 2007 is when I first got into disc golf, when you didn't have all the disc that you have now. You just had Innova.
Yeah.
We had a store in Chattanooga off Main Street called the Grapevine, and you had disc golf or disc from Innova, and you would have like the Leopard, the Viper. You didn't have numbers. You just had the Viper, the Leopard, the Beast. You might actually have the originals, the OG, the Viper. The Beast and the Viper were the OGs, and the Leopard. I think those were the main ones I started with. Matter of fact, this is them. This actually is them. See, this is the Leopard that I started with. This is the Beast. I wonder if the wife, she's probably seen this. The Beast, that's the first one. But this is the OG. Look at how wore out. This was the Viper. And this was really cool. And I remember this on the Spider was our mid-range like a putter, and then the Firebird. We also had those was what I started with. So if you look at it, there's no numbers. So you just had mid-range putter here. You had the Viper. That was our distance driver. So in 2007, we started this, and this was one of the original putters I had. So 2007 we started, and you was how old in 2007?
10.
So 10 years. We used to go up to the Sinks in Hickson and play, and we would play rounds, and Kendall Shipley got us involved in that. And Kendall was with the Chattanooga Disc Golf Association, and they were kind of like what we're talking about doing to a sense. They played tournaments in Chattanooga, and they all had their rankings. So you had to challenge each other to get your rankings and that kind of thing. But we'll be talking about what we are fixing to establish and start in the Chattanooga tri-state area is a tournament trail. It's called Heiser Nation Tournament Trail. And we'll be having tournaments once a month, paying out money, which is the first. Have money payouts. We'll be doing Fletcher Park. What else? Edwards. Camp Jordan, Menace,
West Side,
and West Side, and one more. What was the other one?
Oh, the new course down
Pasture.
The farm.
The farm. Okay, yeah. And that's going to be our first year tournament. We're going to play each trail twice. We'll incorporate most of PDGA rules. The only other rule that we're going to add is there's going to be talking, because we're going to be actually interviewing players. We're going to have cameras. We're going to have drones. We're going to cover the tournament. And hopefully we're going to be paying out based off participation. But how do you may ask yourself how to join this, how to become a part of it. It's a $35 membership, one time annual. Be annual is once a year. $35 to be a member, and then it goes $35 per tournament per player, and then the money is handed out, and we have it all set up like we take 30%, I think, out to go back into the tournament to buy the trophies, the awards, the plaques, the shirts, hats, jackets, decals, all that good stuff, and to help build the tournament trail up. And during that time, in between that, Heiser Nation will be taking trips to the different courses and with the drone, and we'll actually be going. Hunter will be actually playing the courses, and I'll be videoing, and he'll give you hole by hole how to throw it, how to lay it out. But also, we're gonna have Preston, Barnett. Some of you might know Barnett as BB. Sad, but Barnett, and then Patrick Lowe. He's well known in the area as well, so he'll be a part of the podcast as well. So interesting things we got going on.
Yeah.
So it's been a full circle from 2007 to now. I didn't get to finish that. You was 10 years old, and you'd play, and then about 2009 or 10, me and Barnett would go play all the time, and we just said we're done. Because back in those days, you had the sinks, which was way different than it is now. You had the sinks, and you had just built Camp Jordan and Jack Maddox.
Yeah.
And that was the only three. So once you played those, we got where we were pretty decent, where we were playing even par, sometimes birdieing, going under on these courses. It was like no challenge left. So it's like, the sport wasn't that big. And then, was it 4 years ago, you called me up and wanted to get back into it and wanted to borrow the disc.
We're going on a year and a half.
It's only been a year and a half?
It's only been a year and a half.
Wow. So a year and a half ago, you said, Dad, where's your disc at?
Yeah.
Now you don't regret me not throwing things away. Usually it was Dad's a hoarder. He holds on to everything, never throws nothing away. This is one of those things where he's glad I didn't. But then Battlefield Outdoors opened up.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're really, outside of Amazon, you really didn't have nowhere to buy the disc back then. So Battlefield Outdoors opened up, which wasn't far from us, and we would do business with them, and it kind of went from there. And it opened up. I think me and Barnett went and played with you one time and said, man, we miss this. This was fun. But now it's a numbers game. There is how many discs? Gosh.
Thousands. I mean, even the manufacturers. You
Yeah.
got so many different discs.
Oh yeah, it's unreal. So now you have a bag. If they could see, he's got a rack of how many 250 discs here, and I know Patrick has just probably that many in his vehicle.
Oh yeah, it keeps about at least that, maybe more in his truck.
Yeah, and you think about it, just there's discs for every occasion. But what's interesting about it, when we played, I was right-handed, never thought about doing left-handed, never thought, what is a hyzer? We were throwing them. We just didn't know it was called a hyzer. We were throwing Anheuser, and we were hitting trees. I mean, same thing you do now. But we were kind of trying to figure out what to do, like what disc would throw. I got to where I learned one disc that I could throw because my mindset was just throw it straight at the target. And now it's kind of looping around this tree and going over that hazard. Trying to hit your gap. And so now it's a whole different, it's real similar to actual golf, because you actually have a strategy when you come up to each hole is how to play it to have the best line and the best second shot, or the up shot as they call it. Yeah. And then putting is all, man, it's a work now. So, but the sport has huge, I don't know, grown by leaps and bounds. Yeah. So what's the biggest jump in the sport that you've seen?
Man, really just the community. And that's kind of what we're here to do, is to help connect everybody together and to get those things kind of set in place so you feel a little more comfortable coming out and playing on the course, and really kind of have that family atmosphere, but also, yeah, you pay into it, but yet you could also get a really big payout. And it's to help get, those MA2, MA1, even MA4 and MA3 guys the confidence to get into the PDGA, because we really want to promote getting there to really show how much you can grow. But really just a good competitive atmosphere, good clean fun, just getting outside and being outside and playing the sport and growing the sport. I mean, it just took me, and now I've got 10, 15 people that play with me, and those people have their other groups that they play with. So it's just go out and have fun, really. And but yeah, I would say the community for sure has gotten to where, I mean, there's people are going to different states to go watch an actual PDGA tournament. Like, that's huge.
That's when you know it's gotten big.
that's
Yeah,
big,
when
yeah.
they're traveling to go play. It's funny because when we went on our vacation this year and last year, we went to Gulf Shores, and that's one of the first things we looked at is let's go find a place to play disc golf. And there was multiple courses down there to play. And me and you went last year and played 2 courses down there last year. This year, we had a different kind of experience with the family vacation.
Yeah.
We had the whole family go, which was probably the best vacation I think I have ever went on in my life. Because we got everybody to go, and we had a big penthouse on the beach, and it was really cool, really cool experience. And then, but we got to play a couple of rounds. We even had a tournament, family tournament, and that went good. But we had Barnett went, Preston went, Holden went, me and you, and Ethan went. And so we hope to have all those guys on this podcast from time to time. But we got some cool things, and to kind of just break down a little bit. What Hunter was talking about is we're wanting to take the players that are the novice or the guys that can't even throw a disc and get them into the sport. And the Heiser Nation tournament trail is a stepping stone to get you confident enough to play in the PDGA. And actually, you can make money in our tournament.
Yeah.
You can make some good money. I mean, we're going to have some really big payouts. And some prizes and things that you're going to be able to do. And it's the atmosphere, the community, and then you'll get confident because most people they'll play and they think, well, maybe I'm not good enough. And then they lose interest or they lose interest in it or hope in it. But then you meet somebody like you or Patrick or Preston. How long's Preston been? He hasn't played. But he's got a natural. Him and Barnett, they have this natural throw, and they could easily get into the PDGA and start playing tournaments. Well, our trail is a stepping stone to get you more comfortable with the atmosphere of tournaments and making it fun. That's the main thing we're going to do is we're going to make it fun.
And we'll have coverage on it.
Yes, we'll have.
You'll be on.
Yeah.
You'll be on the podcast, or you'll be on video footage of the course of the day or whatever, or shots of the day, or if you're on lead card or something, you'll get exposure.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we want is to get you used to that kind of atmosphere. So going into these bigger PDGA events, you're good to go.
Yeah, that's what's kind of neat is we're going to get your name out there because that's how you get recognized. You got to have sponsors, so you're going to get to be sponsored, or you'll get sponsors will get to meet you, get to see you, your personality. We're going to have sponsors on the show. We're going to have with what's going on at Battlefield Outdoors. It's got some interesting stuff that's going on there that we'll be able to cover that, bring that to you. We'll even be able to do some live streaming to where if somebody's out playing around can call in with the video link and be on the podcast and talk about the round while they're playing, and we can actually watch that happen, which ought to be interesting. That'll be kind of different. So we got a lot of cool things in store.
Yeah, this is definitely the first of very many podcasts, and we hope that everybody can enjoy this and learn and ask questions, and please feel free in the chat. And I meant to ask earlier while we were talking about it, but what is your favorite brand of disc golf disc right now? I mean, there's so many manufacturers to choose from. I know when I first got back into disc golf, I was a big Paul McBeth fan, big Discraft fan. I mean, my whole bag, everything was Paul McBeth and Discraft. And then
mine was MVP.
Yeah.
And Patrick was what?
MVP.
Yeah.
When we first met him.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, whatever. Discraft and Paul McBeth are the best. And I actually threw one of Dad's MVP discs, and I was like, that thing's actually pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
And so it kind of gave me open eyes to like maybe I should try other brands. And so I did. I switched to getting MVP and Axiom and Streamline, and then I got some Prodigies. I put with PA3s, and I've got some Castoplast disc in there now.
So I haven't thrown any of those. I tell you what was kind of weird. What opened my about a Lone Star. Never heard of them, but they had one at Battlefield, and I needed a glow disc. And MVP has great glow disc, and I think it's kind of why I leaned that way, because they had a great. Because some of the glow discs you have to constantly activate, and then you throw them and you can't find them because they're going down. But when I was throwing I had already had my share with a Novo in 07, and I was like, just the plastic. To me, it become a texture grip. You know, the way the lip was made, where I could hold it because I got fat fingers and I can't just grip it and throw it in these weird positions. Everybody's like, bend your fingers this way and bend them that way, and you can't do it.
guitar.
Yeah, I can't do it. So some of the discs were just because I like the weight and the feel of it. And then I got, like you said, Axiom. You had a virus. Wasn't that a virus?
Yeah.
And once I threw the virus, I was like, whoa, this is the disc for me.
Yeah.
Then I wound up losing it, but like
the
anything
next
else.
day.
Yeah. And so I was like, that really, really opened up about that one. And then, but some of them like Streamline.
Yeah.
It feels like a normal Frisbee. The texture does. So there's different kinds, different brands. And then I don't think I have a disc. I have some Discraft.
Yeah.
My Heat is a Discraft, and I love the Heat. The Heat's good for me. But like Hunter's saying, if you're watching this and you can comment, I think they're on. I don't know if the comments are on, but I don't know what happened to our chat window. But
Yeah, chat's on.
what is your? Because I can't see nothing on mine. But what is your favorite disc?
Yep.
What's your favorite disc brand, and then what's your favorite disc and why? Like, you have to have a go-to disc, and I'm gonna tell you what's weird. I wish I brought mine in, but my go-to was the Matrix,
Yeah.
and I have a hot pink. Why it's pink? I think it's the only one they had, but I had a hot pink Matrix that, if I needed to fly straight, because I can't make the disc do all the things y'all can. I'm limited because I got bad knees. I can't torque. I can't put the behind them I used to. So when I have to throw it straight, I go to that Matrix. And then somebody, I don't know if it was you or Barnett, beat it to death with a tree, and it is jacked up real bad. But that's one that I really enjoyed that one. But I think yours is probably the Hex or the Uplink. I'd say
No, the Hex is
that's your
my
go-to?
my safety net, really. It's my get out of jail card if I need something to just go right down the pipe.
Yeah.
That's what I'm throwing.
And then you also got into dying disc.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't have any of those on me.
yeah. Well, there's one over on the wall. I see it. I think that's one on the wall. Is that your disc?
No.
Oh, all right. Well, you got into dying them. Patrick got into dying disc, and I seen some people online do some really cool stuff with dying it. But and then you had
I got some of Patrick's dies on here.
show them some of Patrick's. Let's check that out. That is just like cool. So he did all the blue and the white, right?
Yeah.
So it was a white disc, and then he done that.
He did the blue and the black.
Wow. So that is too cool.
And then he did, this was the first one he did for me. It's an Innova Katana.
Yeah, that is really cool. Now, I like the one he did for Holden, the Florida Gator.
Yeah.
That was really cool. That was good. So, but now look at over here. You got the mini disc. Now, what is the purpose of the mini disc?
Yeah, so the mini disc is really just a place marker or a mini marker. So once you throw your disc off the tee box, you need to spot that placement. And so what you need to do, at least in tournament play, you'll just put your mini disc in front of the disc towards the basket, touching right up against the edge of the disc, and then you're able to pick up that disc, and if you need to throw it again, you can. But the mini disc is really just a spot placement, so that way it's kind of a legal shot, and you can still use that same disc.
Or if you're in our family tournament
Yeah.
and you draw the stipulation that you must throw the hole with the mini disc, that was one of the stipulations that we had.
That becomes very difficult.
Yeah,
I was the one that drew that stimulation.
And one of the other stipulations I thought was funny that me and Preston had to do was every shot you had to react like you just made your first ace.
Yeah.
So we were yelling and hollering and jumping up and down and high fiving every single shot.
And shirts almost came off.
Yeah. So if you throw and you hit a tree and it bounced off, you had to act like you just aced it. And people are thinking, "Oh man, somebody just scored an ace." No, we hit a tree.
Yeah.
So there was stipulation, and that may be something we do in one of our tournament trails, that you have to draw a stipulation when you come up to a hole, and you may have to throw it with a putter, or you may have to throw or go the whole thing with a distance driver, or you may have to go left-handed.
Yeah.
Some things we're going to do to change it. Like I said, it's about having fun, because when you get to the PG or PDGA, it's more professional, focused in. Everybody's kind of quiet, and you're mixed with people you don't know. The good thing about our tournament trail is we're hoping to. We can do it a couple different ways. We can have, like, if you bring 3 other guys with you, y'all 4 can play. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, we're trying to figure out the best way to make it foolproof, to where it's as honest as it can. So if we had to have an official go along and check and make sure that the scorecards are right, or you have it to where everybody agrees that's the right score, and if everybody agrees on it, they agree on it. So that's the only hard part, is policing to make sure it's legit. Everything else is going to be done right, and we'll have. But we'll also have some giveaways. We'll have some disc. We'll have shirts and hats, decals, Heiser Nation decals that you see on the screen. I don't know why I'm pointing at the monitor, but you can see it. That's our Heiser Nation podcast logo. You'll see that quite a bit, and then we'll have a Heiser Nation tournament trail logo that we'll have, and you'll get decals of that. So when you sign up to be a member of Heiser Nation, you're going to get a decal and hopefully a shirt at some point.
Sure.
I don't know what we're going to do when we first start off. Yeah, who knows?
Yes. I mean, it's all kind of in there. Really tell us what would be a good idea for us to give you as a player pack when you first sign up.
Yeah, because we want to know player packs, because we're looking to start our first tournament March or April, somewhere in that area. Let the weather warm up, and we still got to get some more equipment to be able to cover it the way we want to cover it, because we're going to air them. And you'll see on this channel, on the YouTube channel, there's already some videos there where we just did a few test runs up at Fletcher Park. There's a video on hole 1, hole 2, hole 3, and hole 4. I haven't got the rest of them done because the computer I was using slowed down with all that graphics, but we got a new computer in now that hopefully we can fix that and edit, and then kind of go from there. So we'll actually have drone footage, unless we crash it or it hits a tree, just like the disc will. But we want to make it fun. That's the main thing, and we want to bring as many people in. And the cool thing about our tournament trail is let's say you got a father-son, and the son may be 12 years old, but he can throw the disc. He can come in the tournament trail. I think that would be cool to have something where families can kind of come together. But we'll also be interviewing people like Patrick, people like Bruce, and different ones that already do tournament trails and how they're set up in their stories. And Bruce has a very interesting story about him and his whole family, veterans, and what he does for the veterans in the community, and we're going to promote that as well. So there's a lot of good things coming up, and this, I think, was a good test run. We got kind of figured out what we can and can't do. Is there anything you want to add before we wrap it up?
Yeah, sure. I'd like to, obviously, we're sponsored by Battlefield Outdoors, so if you haven't been to Battlefield Outdoors in the Fort Overthorpe area, please go check them out. I promise you won't be disappointed. They have so many different brands. They're constantly getting in new inventory, from discs, baskets, bags, Zuka carts, disc grabbers, towels. I mean, you name it, they got it. They're probably the biggest disc golf supercell wholesaler, or not really wholesaler, but disc seller in the Chattanooga area.
Yeah.
Within at least 50 miles that I know of.
Yeah.
So please come down, help us out, give some Battlefield Outdoors some love, and I promise you won't regret it.
Yeah, and they have some new stuff coming too.
Yeah,
there's
the Gyropalooza boxes are going to be coming soon.
The what?
The MVP's Gyropalooza box.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I think I know what that is. That's a box of discs, right?
Yeah.
But they also, Patrick was talking about making a pro was it a
Pro shop.
pro shop and a hangout area
Yeah.
where you could kind of go and talk to pros, hang out, and maybe have a test area
Yeah.
where you
They'll
can
have
actually
a
throw some discs.
tech disc in there.
Yeah. So, so there's some cool stuff that they're doing to bring. Battlefield is going to be probably the largest retailer in the tri-state area that I know of, and we're just so be blessed to have them in our backyard. So give them some love. You can reach them online or at their storefront building. Also, I guess that's about it. We're also looking for sponsors, and we can put your name right across the screen. And we can actually, we even have full production, so we can actually produce you a commercial, or maybe you just want to help sponsor it. We'll be able to do all that as well, and hopefully we'll keep bringing you some information and some footage that you'll enjoy. We're always up to new ideas, so click like and subscribe, and then give us some ideas. What would you like to see on the show? But until then, next time, it's Brent Hunter saying we'll see you on the course.